What's up, Agency Go fam? In this video, I'm gonna be talking to you about the differences between two very powerful email marketing softwares, Gmass versus Lemlist. I hope you enjoy it, and as always, if you want all the tools and resources that I've used to scale my agency, go to agencygo.io/leads. So in a nutshell, this is essentially the breakdown between Gmass and Lemlist. Gmass is a great tool that you can add to your Gmail. It's gonna allow you to automate all your email sequences. It's pretty straightforward, but I'm just gonna kind of cut to the chase and then go into the details. I would say Lemlist wins as a better tool for running all of your lead gen campaigns, and I'm gonna be showing you why that is in this video. So with Lemlist allows you to have robust campaigns. It used to be that Lemlist was just about cold emails, and you can see here from their homepage, they talk about having a cold email software and doing sales automation, but in my opinion, I'll show you in this video why I think that's different. I think they're moving to be more robust as a platform and doing a lot more with outreach than just cold email. Now, let's say you want to get started on Gmass. We'll start there. With Gmass, all you have to do is add it to your Gmail. It's not that expensive. When you click on pricing, it comes in at pretty much $19 per month for automated campaigns. You can even get discounts if you choose the team campaigns. It comes out to much less if you do bulk, either annually or individually with team or as a team. Now, with Lemlist is definitely more expensive, but for what you get with Lemlist, I think it's definitely worth the price. Now, the thing is, there's also agency plans that Lemlist has as well that make it a lot easier, but they do try to upsell you on these, and you have to talk to sales in order to actually convert. But as you can see, if you look at all the things you get for that $29 per month, you get a lot of stuff. And the thing is that with Gmass, even though it is similar, there's a couple of downsides, which I'll go into here in a second. But with Gmass, when you want to actually set up the campaigns, all you have to do is add the Chrome plugin to your browser. You click launch the campaigns dashboard, and bam, you have all your data right here. If you want to set up a campaign, you can easily do it by just going into your Compose and then adding an email. You can plug in all your variables here. You can add in everything. So it's pretty user friendly. The thing about Lemlist is it takes you out of the experience of being in your inbox. Now, there are ways that they do kind of merge the two things, but for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna give this to Gmass as being more easy to use. It's an easier to use tool than Lemlist just in terms of getting started, but you'll see that it definitely has its limitations. So you can run automation from here, you can do all sorts of things from Gmass, but again, I do think that Lemlist is more powerful. Now, once you create your Lemlist account, essentially, you'll have all these different things they're gonna try to have you do, and they make it very apparent they want you to go through all of these things so you get the full aspect of using Lemlist. But if you click new campaign, you can easily set up a new campaign. So once you've done that, they're gonna ask you to set up LemWarm. Now, both tools, Gmass and Lemlist, both have an email warm-up function. Essentially what email warm-up is email warm-up essentially helps you by getting you to send out emails to their own email list, and then they essentially send emails back to you. And that makes the senders, the Gmails of the world, the Microsoft Outlooks of the world, that makes them think that your account is in good standing. And that's what you want, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to, and this is something I tell everybody, we're not trying to game the system with cold emailing. Cold emailing should be about working within the constraints of Gmail and Outlook and all these other tools and trying to actually provide value to people. And so the thing about warming up your email account is it allows you to work within a verified network of emails to actually give more credibility to your domain before you go out there and you start sending emails out to people. It makes it less likely you're going to be sent to spam and everything. So both tools offer email warm-up sequences. And so when you go here, you just go email warm-up, you can easily set up a warm-up schedule for your campaigns. And then there's other videos I have breaking down how you can do that on Gmass. I don't have one for Lemlist yet, but maybe in the future I'll have one. But with Lemlist, all you have to do is set up here how many you want to warm up. I will say that from what I've seen, Lemlist has a longer period of time to use LemWarm, and it's also more expensive to use LemWarm because you have to have a paying plan. So it's obviously double the price almost to even get your email warmed up. And actually, the thing is with Gmass, the cool thing is Gmass actually allows you to warm up the emails for free. So you could actually warm up for free with Gmass. So one thing you could always do, and this is what I would actually recommend, is I'd recommend using Gmass to warm up the email for free. And then once you've warmed it up for free, then you can use a Lemlist to actually run all your campaigns. Because at the end of the day, everything is dependent on the actual domain. So the domain itself is all that Gmail cares about. It's all that Outlook cares about, right? So if you're actually using something like Gmass just to warm up the campaigns for free, then you could easily just switch over to Lemlist to actually run your campaigns after the fact. That's what I would recommend that you do. So now that you've actually done that, it's going to ask you to import your leads. The cool thing about Lemlist, and I've seen this company grow now over the years, it's gotten better and better, and I actually might start using them more robustly than I have in the past because of these things they've added. But essentially, they allow you to put in leads from a bunch of different systems. So you could run it from LinkedIn, you can connect from Zapier. They have their own API now, which is really cool. They have their own API where you can pull leads from a variety of different places. They're trying to compete with places like Close.io or Outreach.io, all these big companies, and they have a really robust API. Gmass barely has any API, so I'm not even going to compare that because Lemlist clearly is superior in this case than Gmass. Gmass has barely anything. It's very minuscule compared to what you can do with Lemlist. So Lemlist clearly wins in this category. Also, Lemlist clearly wins in this category when it comes to what kinds of leads you can import and where, because Gmass only allows you to import leads directly to Google Sheets or doing it manually. So when you go and you actually try to add leads to a campaign, if I go compose, it's going to ask me if I want to add them, and I can add it from another campaign or from Google Sheet. I can't add it from anything else. So this is definitely what you lose. And honestly, in my opinion, based on the market, I think Gmass should be even cheaper, given that there's other tools like Lemlist, which could provide a lot more for the price. So when you look here, again, you could do CSV input, you could do from LinkedIn, you could do from CRM, you could do from an API, you could do from Zapier, you could do manually, you could even do it from another campaign. So Lemlist clearly just destroys the competition when it comes to the amount of things that you can do with importing your leads. So that is super solid. Now, the other thing about Lemlist is it'll actually add you to an enrichment campaign. So this is something that a lot of really popular databases do. And I think this is probably the area that Lemlist might go down in the future, where they actually start supplying leads to people. But the really cool thing is called lead enrichment. And what lead enrichment does is essentially it allows you to verify if these leads are actually good. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. But essentially, it scans the different leads that come in. So you can scan the leads from LinkedIn, scan it from Drop Contact, in order to make sure that these leads are actually going to hit inboxes and that they're going to be verified. So the thing about Lemlist is that it's very, very good at verifying the contacts, verifying the information. You can do a LinkedIn and you can check here that it does, make sure that the URL is using the Chrome extension. They have a LinkedIn Chrome extension now, which is really cool. They can use the Lemlist LinkedIn Chrome extension, which is really nice. It pulls these leads and it imports them directly into the campaign, which is just super, super cool. And as somebody that has a lot of different people prospecting for me on a regular basis, I definitely recommend that you do something where you have multiple touch points. So you have leads from LinkedIn, you have leads from a CRM. The whole goal is to basically make sure the data is as quality as possible. So this enrichment tool is, again, when the Gmass just does not offer. So Gmass is completely out of the running here. Lemlist is way better than Gmass in this respect by a landslide. They didn't even do anything in this regard. So again, Lemlist all the way here. Now, another thing about Lemlist, which again, Gmass does not do, is they have the most advanced from what I've seen. I mean, other than maybe tools like Outreach.io or something, most advanced sequencing functions for cold outreach. So you can see here, once you start your campaign, once you've created it, it allows you to actually set up, and I'm not even going to review Gmass at this point for this because they don't even have anything like this. It's honestly kind of crazy. But once the campaign is running, you can pause the campaign, you can set up multiple steps in the campaign. So I could add a call, right? But again, this is the sales engagement plan. So this is actually more expensive. It's $99 per month. So again, you lose a lot with Gmass, but Lemlist gives you way more. So in that regard, though, I would say for the amount of money you're going to be making from something like Lemlist, I definitely recommend going for that higher priced plan. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to not, if you're actually getting this much of an ROI. And the thing is that the problem is switching costs. You have to keep that in mind when you're running any kind of prospecting. Gmass might be good, but for the price. But the thing is that if they're going to also have to switch to something else, your prospectors, that's going to incur costs having to switch between different softwares. And because Lemlist doesn't have you switching between these things as much, it's actually helping you, right? And you can see email outreach, like video prospecting. I mean, these are really cool functions. And again, I'm no way, in any way, shape, or form, at least at the moment when I'm recording this, sponsored by Lemlist. I just think it's such a cool tool that really helps in a lot of ways with your prospecting. The other thing that Lemlist does, which Gmass has a horrible job of, I really dislike Gmass for this, is they don't give you a lot of support in general. Lemlist does. Lemlist gives you a ton of support. So they have all these different cold email templates you can use, the open rate, the reply rate, they have the categories, they have the follow-up sequences, they have all this stuff. I mean, this is really, really, really cool stuff. And frankly, nobody else is doing this right now. This is so much better than the competition, in my opinion, that they really kill it here. And if you listen to Nathan Latka's interview with Guilherme, the guy who started Lemlist, they were able to get to a $30 million offer. Somebody offered them $30 million within just a few years of starting this company because of the community. And that's what I'm going to get into next. And again, this is something that Gmass just has none of. And again, Gmass, even though it's cheap, it's just not worth it if you're doing any kind of real prospecting from what I've seen. I think Lemlist is definitely more worth the money now that they've just rolled out this updates. I know in previous videos I talked about how I use Gmass, but the thing is that Gmass just isn't this robust anymore. It just doesn't offer the things you need for full prospecting. So again, Lemlist is such a cool group, so great. You can ask all these questions. They have such a great community, way better than Gmass. With Gmass, you can't even ask questions because their support is so limited. And I really dislike their support. It's so limited that you can't really do anything, right? So I just do not like it for my intents and purposes. Now, the thing is, when I was first scaling it, I thought, first scaling cold email, I thought that I would need a lot of different campaigns running simultaneously. And I guess in a sense you do, but the thing is that when you're scaling prospecting, you don't need that many campaigns. You just need one person to have one campaign to a really good list. And if you look at Lemlist, you look at their price of $99 per month for that purpose, to nail all of that, I think it's definitely worth it. One of the biggest problems we have with scaling outbound right now is having too many people doing too many different things. You just need dedicated, streamlined processes where one person does one thing on one campaign to one list, and that's all they do, right? That's it. So going back to the beginning, in the question between Gmass and Lemlist, I definitely have to award Lemlist as the best cold emailing tool between the two. Lemlist completely destroys Gmass in every respect. The only time I would even consider using Gmass is if I was warming up campaigns or if I was in a really strict budget for some kind of reason. But to be honest, the amount of money you're going to make from B2B outbound prospecting, which is probably what you're going to be doing with something like Lemlist, it just doesn't make any sense not to pay $99 per month. It's way more effective in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of Gmass versus Lemlist. As always, if you would like all the tools and resources that I've used to scale my agency, go to agencygo.io/leads. These are all completely free materials for you, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that way you can get more content just like this on a weekly basis. Thank you.